can hear everything. Hey everybody, it's Enrica, and this is the first episode of Chasing Christ. I am so excited to finally start this journey. I've been wanting to start a podcast since forever now, and I finally gained all the courage to get me here to do it, and I am so happy. But you know what's so ironic about me starting a podcast? I actually hate the sound of my voice. It irks me. So I'll probably never actually rewatch any of these videos unless I have to edit them. But if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, hello. And if you're listening to this, hello. All right, so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how faithful God is and the difference between faithfulness in a human sense and faithfulness in a sense of God, if that makes any sense. I wish I had a guest. It's just me, but hopefully soon enough I'll have guests on here, so I'm excited for that. All right, so basically today's focus point is going to be putting your trust in others will most likely leave you disappointed. Because it's the truth. Because you can ask yourself, how many times have we put our trust or our faith in someone and they let us down? It could be a boyfriend, could be a mom, could be a dad, could be a friend. Bottom line is, everyone has eventually let you down at least once in your life. And, the difference between God's faithfulness and human faithfulness is because since we aren't made perfect like he is, we're capable of making mistakes. And sometimes you don't even mean to really let somebody down on purpose. You don't mean to not do that thing you said you were going to do. You don't mean to tell that person that thing you weren't supposed to tell them, but we just do it because, we're not perfect. And that's where God comes in. He is perfect. His love is unfailing. He is the most faithful person. I can't even say person because he's so much bigger than that. He is the most faithful that you'll ever come across. And a lot of people will say, well, God is so faithful. Yeah. But how comes I can't hear from him? How comes I'm in this season for a while now and it feels like he's not here? And I feel like people always try to put people try to excuse God's faithfulness because of a situation in their life. And I've done that too. There's been times where I'm just like, okay, God, you're so faithful. Where are you? Why am I going through this? And then even now, I'm still realizing that just because I'm going through something that's hard doesn't mean that God isn't present. Just because my situation sucks doesn't mean God sucks. And having faith in him, it's a two-way street. He's faithful to us, but what are we doing for him? Because God could be faithful to me, but the sad part is we're not faithful to him. We don't want to wait. We don't want to go through the struggle. We don't want to go through the hard part. We simply just want what we want when we want it, and if he's not doing it, we just say that he's not faithful. And I am so guilty of that. I'm going to be very transparent here. I'm not going to come on here and try to pretend that I'm perfect because I'm so far from it. But every day I'm learning just how faithful God really is, because there have been times in my life where I thought that God, where are you? Like I said before. And then I come to realize that he's been there the whole time. I just wasn't looking for him in the right ways. And I feel like we do that a lot. We'll look at our situation and then we'll be like, okay, God, I need this breakthrough financially. I need to pay my rent. I need this car. Where are you? And we're not seeing what's going on behind the scenes. So in our head, he's not doing anything. And it's like we forget that he's literally working on our behalf. But we have this need, this urgency, this rush to get everything done when we want to get it done. And then when he doesn't do it on our time, oh, you're so unfaithful. How is God so faithful, but yet my situation is like this? And your hard times does not equal God not caring about your situation. Sometimes it's those hard times that actually show how faithful God is to you because he brings you through it. Amen. Sometimes we go through certain situations that we think we're not built for, and then we come through those situations and we're like, okay, now I see what you were doing. We see things from such a close perspective that we can't zoom out and be like, okay, what is the bigger picture here? But then we forget that God is the bigger picture. He is the bigger picture. He sees the bigger picture. He's faithful. And when you think of someone being faithful, you think of someone sticking by your side through the ups and the downs, someone that's always going to be there for you. And sometimes we look for that characteristic in people around us. Like we look for those people, we look for those characteristics in a partner. You know, everybody wants someone that's faithful. Who would want someone that's going to lie, cheat on them, and, you know, treat them terribly? So we look for this characteristic of faithfulness in other people, and it's like we just dismiss the one person who can actually do it without us having to be disappointed. I feel like his faithfulness is something that you have to go through certain things in your life to fully experience his faithfulness to a certain extent. Because how can you know that someone is faithful to you if they're with you through all of the good times? Okay. We want these perfect days, this perfect life, and then we're like, oh God, look at you sticking beside me. I mean, you seem to have it all going on great, so who wouldn't stick beside you? Think about it. Think about it like this. All right, let's say you have a group of friends. Your career just took off, and now you have all these friends around you, and they're like, ooh, you're up. You're going up. I'm here with you. You know I'm here with you. But you see, the thing about human beings is that if they're not benefiting from it, I mean, why? But that's the thing about God. We don't do anything for him, and yet he still is faithful to us. Let that sink in. People will be loyal to us because they're thinking about what we could provide for them. Is that something physical? Or is that something that's reciprocated? Like, you're loyal to me, so I'm loyal to you. You see, we're loyal because for a purpose, for a reason, because we have these, I don't even know how to word this. Not an ulterior motive, because some people can genuinely be loyal people. I'm not saying that nobody in this life, in your life or in general, can be loyal. It's just the fact that it's to an extent. But the thing about God is going to ride until the wheels fall off. And even when the wheels fall off, he'll build you a whole new car. That's the difference between God's faithfulness and faithfulness with other people. And that's just the truth. That's literally just the truth. If God only stood beside us when we were doing good, quote unquote good, or we were doing something for him, but the thing is, you could fall 1,000 times and God is still gonna be right there with you. You know what? Let me actually share a time, a personal testimony of mine, a very small one, of when I was relying on God in a time where I was just like not in a good place. So I remember this was probably about like maybe a year ago, or maybe less than a year, I'm not sure. And I was in a place where I was just like, I needed like a financial breakthrough, because I was just like, God, I need to pay for college. The FAFSA money is not coming in. I see everybody signing up for unemployment. Okay. So I'm like, you know what? Let me hop on. Because, you know, I actually was unemployed. It's not a scam. So I remember I applied and they didn't accept me. So I'm just like, all right, whatever. And then I applied 2 more times and they still didn't accept me. So I'm like, all right, God, I'm seeing you do it for him, her, him, her, him, her. What about me? And, you know, I was so bitter about it because I was like, God, I'm in your word. I'm trying to live how you've called me to, and I can't get a little financial breakthrough. What's going on? So I thought in my head, I knew I was going through a test. I knew that it had to be a test of some kind, because I'm just like, hold on. why I gotta apply all these times and I'm getting denied? And I'm just like, God, you don't want me to have no money? And then I realized that I think he was trying to use this as an example for me to exercise my faith. Because if he would have just granted it to me, I'd have been like, okay, thank you. But I guess he wanted to see just how faithful I was as well. Would I stand by him if he didn't give it to me? And that's the question that he asked me. If I don't give you this money, are you still going to worship me? Are you still going to love me? Will I still just be enough? And I was like, I mean, yeah, but I really want the money. Because I wanted the money. I'm just being honest here. And then it came to a point where I was like, you know what? God's will is God's will. If he wants me to have it, I will have it. Because if he says yes, nobody else can say no. If God says yes, DEO, unemployment, no, they cannot say no to me. Because if my God says yes, it's yes. Simple. So I finished my pity party and I'm like, you know what? So I'm reading my word. I'm just getting closer to God. And then one day I was like, all right, I'm going to try one more time. And this is going to be the last time. I said that about the last 3 times too, though. So I did it. I put my application in and then it was the day to check. It wasn't like I was nervous because I had already prepared myself for it to say that I didn't get it. I remember I woke up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and I was like, why am I up? And I remembered that I had applied. So I was going to check if I got approved. So, I'm logging into my bank app, crust in my eyes. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. So I open up my bank app and then I look and I see a direct deposit. I ain't going to say how much, but I was like, okay, more than I asked for. And that's just how God works. He wanted me to exercise my faith. And I did. And he gave me more than I asked for. I did not ask for as much as I got. But that's what grace is. It's getting what you don't deserve. Because I deserve, the way I acted about it, oh, you're not giving it to me, you're giving it to everybody else. He could have gave me $100 and I would have been like, thank you. Let me put that in my savings. But he gave me so much more than that. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to experience his faithfulness firsthand, because I thought that he was not listening to my prayers. I thought that he didn't care how I was going to pay for college, how I was going to pay for whatever. But he did care. I guess he wanted to see how much I cared. And I'm grateful that I got that experience. That was exercising my faith in a whole different way. And even though I was bitter and I was sad that I didn't get what everybody else was getting, God still stuck beside me and he chose to bless me. He could have been like, yeah, the way you acted, sick. Next, maybe another time. But you know what he did? Gave me more than I deserved. And that's why I'm so in love with Christ. That's why I will continue to chase him, because he never fails to amaze me. Even in my hardest situations, he always brings good out of it. And that's why I'm encouraging everybody here that's listening to this to put your faith in God. I want to thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I appreciate it so much. I pray that whoever watches this video will just be blessed and take what I said and take it to God. All right, I'll see you guys next week or maybe the next episode. I'm not sure. But thank you guys so much for watching.